Prof, I think that was extremely generous. Members of the National Assembly here present, the Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, CON, ably represented by Professor Ishak Oloyede, OFR, the Registrar of JAM, the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Rashid, past chairmen and executive secretaries and past executive secretaries of NUC, members of the Diplomatic Corps, chairmen and pro-chancellors of universities, heads of government agencies, particularly those in the education sector, vice chancellors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press. I bring you warm greetings from the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, who is unavoidably absent because of some international engagements that took him out of the country. And he has asked me this morning to represent him and deliver his opening remarks. It is therefore with great pleasure that I received and accepted the invitation to declare the 60th anniversary celebration of NUC open and to formally launch the core curriculum and minimum academic standards CMAS document. I am indeed one of the celebrants today rather than a guest, because the Nigerian university system is my primary constituency. This 60th anniversary affords the Nigerian Universities Commission the opportunity to evaluate its performance over the years and rework its strategies for the future. It goes without saying that the NLC has gone through many phases in the past 60 years, occasioned by political and economic circumstances, resulting in significant changes within the Nigerian higher education landscape. The takeover of the then regional universities by the federal government and the establishment of more universities, conventional and specialized, and inter-university centers, and the need to promote quality and relevance in university education made government to give more regulatory functions and powers to the NLC. Worthy of mention is the power to approve the establishment of new programs in Nigerian universities and to accredit them. The Commission is also charged with the responsibility of developing guidelines, processing applications for establishing private universities. Permit me to mention that the return of democratic governance in 1999, which brought about the streamlining of the regulatory roles of NUC in tandem with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This phase ushered in the establishment of private universities and a comprehensive review of laws guiding university education in the country. To address growing concerns by universities and academic staff, in particular, on what was perceived as strong government influence in the management of universities, government, in collaboration with the National Assembly and the NUC, enacted the University Autonomy Law to give more powers to the universities and their own governance and administration, including the appointment of their principal officers. You may agree with me that access and quality have been key concerns in the delivery of university education in Nigeria. The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari places emphasis on expanding access and pressing need for specialized professional programs, informed the administration's decision to establish more specialized public and license more private universities, with the NUC playing key role in the process. While establishing these universities, government is not oblivious to the funding challenges of the existing ones. It is working to ensure that all federal universities are given the necessary support to thrive through its commitment to supporting the NUC as it pursues its mandates of ensuring that quality is attained, maintained, and enhanced in our universities. So far, the NUC has discharged its functions over the years creditably and must be congratulated even as it celebrates its 60th anniversary. Despite the challenges faced by our universities, Nigerian graduates are highly valued and sought after globally. This is a testimony to the global recognition of the quality of training in our universities. I therefore salute the courage and hard work of the successive management and staff of NUC for their contributions to the growth of this reputable commission. As you are all aware, one of the major issues bedeviling university education in Nigeria is the incessant strike actions by various unions in our public. The system has cumulatively lost over 50 months from 1999 to date as a result of strike actions by academic staff union of universities. I doubt if there is any country that has lost such amount of time to strikes in its university system. From the first strike in 1978 to date, all the issues have remained the same. The agitations have been primarily on funding, university autonomy, and remunerations. And let me pause at this stage to say that I was an active participant in the strike. This is not the vice president now, but his boss, Mustafa, speaking. I was an active participant in the strike of 1978. That was in the days of Ali Moscow. We threw stones, we threw pedals. Sometimes we manufactured IEDs to ensure that we dealt decisively with the issues that arose at that time. But I believe that we have come to a stage as a people and as a country, and particularly for those of you that are charged with the responsibilities of administering our universities, to start an honest conversation as to how to deal with these issues, because we cannot continue dealing with them in the manner in which we've dealt with them in the past and have not achieved the desired objectives. And I'm glad that architect Okay, thank you. This is the right time, and I'm glad that architect Sonia Echono, the executive secretary of TED Fund, has stirred the nest of an honest conversation that we must begin. I remember in 1978, I was privileged to be the national president of Gongola Students' Union all across the country, but then I was a student in ABU. And I had a cause to negotiate with the then military governor. He was then a colonel, but later became a major general, and now the emir of Gondu, Major General Muhammad Bujega, in my capacity as the national president of the Gongola State Students' Union. Professor Saad Abubakar was then the commissioner for education in Gongola. And I engaged them in an intensive negotiation that ultimately produced what was popularly known in the campus then in ABU and all across the country as the famous Jega Award. And for those of you that were in Zaria and most of the Nigerian campuses then, realize that never in the history of student scholarship that we got the kind of money we got. We ended up on campus. Most students from then Gongola State could afford to buy a motor bicycle. They could afford to furnish their rooms with with refrigerators and big sound systems. That generated a lot of problems for the then governor of Gongola State. And in one of their ICSA meetings, that's the meeting of the northern state governors, there were 12 there. The issue had to be debated because there were agitations from the other 11 northern state students' associations for them to get the kind of treatment that we got. The conclusion of the matter there is that it almost cost me my scholarship, but Professor Saad Abubakar, a gentleman, finest gentleman I've ever seen, stood up for me. He said that if this young man at the age of 21 could convince us logically about the need for the increase, then we do not have to punish him for his ability and his skills of which he deployed to convince us. I'm saying this so that this conversation that I'm urging that we begin should be responsive, should be all-inclusive as to the shared responsibilities of funding education. And I'll proceed with the VP's speech. I need to stress here that government alone cannot fund education in the country. It is therefore imperative that a sustainable model of funding university education must be developed. Such a model should take cognizance of the socio-economic diversity and competing expectations of the Nigerian populace and workforce. The most recent industrial actions by the university-based unions have necessitated a revisit on the issues and scope of university autonomy by government. This will lead to the review of the university autonomy laws to appropriately address funding, including staff remuneration, institutional governance, and administration, as well as issues relating to internally generated revenue. The federal government has been supporting and will continue to support university education through statutory appropriation and special interventions from government agencies such as State Fund, and facilitate similar interventions with other strategic partners and international agencies such as the World Bank. Government is aware of the challenges that NUC faces due to the overlap of regulatory roles by various professional bodies, particularly in the accreditation of professional programs. I hereby reiterate that the Commission is the sole regulator agency of university education, empowered by the Constitution, while professional bodies are to regulate professional practices. I therefore call on the Minister of Education to lead other relevant stakeholders in streamlining the framework of the Commission's engagements with professional bodies for the good of the system. I am also aware that the core curriculum and minimum academic standards, which will be launched today, was done in collaboration with the various professional regulatory bodies. This goes to show that harmony can also be achieved in the various quality assurance efforts. I applaud the NUC and all stakeholders, especially the academic experts, the private sector represented by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, and the relevant professional bodies that worked painstakingly to bring the curriculum review to a successful completion. This document has truly taken cognizance of the need to provide greater academic autonomy to universities with regards to development of some percentage of course content. I commend the Commission for this decision to share the minimum credit units required for graduation with Nigerian universities in the ratio of 70 to 30%. To further integrate institutional peculiarities. I also applaud the foresight of unbundling of such disciplines as agriculture and the emergence of 3 new disciplines in the Nigerian university system, namely allied health sciences, architecture and communication, and media studies. The launch of the core curriculum and minimum academic standard, CMAS, will usher in a new era in the delivery of quality and relevant content. I therefore enjoin the Commission to ensure the wide circulation of the document to our universities and degree awarding institutions for immediate adoption and implementation. To the NUC, led today by the Executive Secretary, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, MNI, MFR, FNAL, and to the successive managements and staff of the Commission and the entire Nigerian university system, I extend my goodwill and felicitations on the numerous achievements of the NUC from inception to date. With pleasure, therefore, and gratitude to God, I hereby formally launch the CMAS and formally declare the Diamond Jubilee celebration of the Nigerian University Commission open. I wish you all a successful event and many more prosperous years of regulating university education in Nigeria. I thank you for your kind attention and listening. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And let the conversation